Dear colleagues, I'd like start my topic how today U.S. President Joe Biden uh, announced the biggest contribution of the government of the United States, White House, United States of America, in the fight with the consequences of the climate change. This assumes unprecedented 50 billion US dollars. As said Joe Biden, the damage of the climate change, United States have some more than 100 billion. So the first part of my topic will be how I promised today the Jesus. Mm, the story about how the Sergei Shoigu have celebrated during all the 3 days in the Pyongyang with the finish of the Korean War in the 1953, 1956. This is the main features of the war. This is World War the Three. Three was three as you calculated the spectators, but the war characterized as offensive or counteroffensive, very big removing troops. It's true that the war started by the influence, inspiration of the Soviet Union, and this is a war was started not Khrushchev, but at the end of the war, the war in the 86 held under the leadership Nikita Khrushchev. So the Nikita Khrushchev and Mao Zedong. And certainly this is very interesting. The both main features in this war, Soviet Union and the United States, only threat the nuclear weapon, but certainly nobody to use it in this war. So this celebration, the third day in a row, Chief of the Russian Defense Office, Sergei Shoigu, celebrated in the Pyongyang. The first time he was conversation with Kim Il Sung, Kim Jong Un, the grandson of the first leadership, Kim Il Sung, who took part in the first Korean War, first and the last, I think, Korean War. And the second day there was a parade, and right now Sergei Shoigu saw the exhibition of the military techniques, including the two-type drones, very similar as the Black Hawk and used and the Raptor. And Jesus, and certainly this is a hint how North Korea went by the Chinese road to copy and other techniques. If you remember, the spectacular Chinese industry came to the copy the car, very famous car, Mercedes. And totally, I think nobody can copy Mercedes. And also about the space station, copy as the special Soviet Union had a space station Salyut under the name Salyut, previously generation, and the Chinese with a big success copy of it. But let's say today. Let's continue. Today, Ukraine state have a state government celebration the day of the formation of the Ukraine, the state day of the Ukraine, and certainly this celebration for the start of the celebration, this congratulation, this celebration, Ukraine forces yesterday started a new contravention in the Zaporizhzhia. And certainly, the contravention very was influenced and afraid of the Russian political manager, and because Sergei Shoigu was absent into the out of the Moscow, Russian President Vladimir Putin need to comment it. This is a situation and reported how the Russia's and their forces rejected attacks on Ukraine forces. This is not mistake. This is a tragedy of the Russian political system. How the chief of the state must to explain how the Russian and its forces reject biggest offensive of the enemy in the strategical direction. Jesus and certainly we here we must do we made to note another mistake how the summit Africa and Russian Federation was right away in this day. And certainly this is all stories, all events, own cases mixing in one in one big ball. Jesus, and totally here West media for all time commented the new help of the United States to the Ukraine in particular. This is help consists 20 million cartridges for the rifle, automats, and others weapon for the infancies for soldiers. And totally another story why Russian President Vladimir Putin need to explain this is a story. This is offensive of Ukraine forces due to how the very intensified, very activity the anti-Russian forces in the territory of the Russian Federation. According to a report of the Federal Secret Services, in Samara oil productive plant, one of the men, Ukrainian regions, made a blast, and then have attempt to leave Russia via Orenburg to the Kazakhstan, I think. Oh Jesus, sorry. And this is a story about how the and about Taganrog right now. This is, I think, this is a simply certain forces simply passed very old rockets of Ukraine Soviet production S-200. Right now, Russian Federation weapon which supplies into Turkey rather than S-400. So the second part of my topic will the comment the decision of the U.S. economy after the 6 months of this year, at the background of the increasing interest rate of the U.S. Fed in the interval 5.25 or 5.5% for federal funds. So and the inflation, about 2.9%. In fact, by the exactly data and employment 3.6%, and the increasing wages increasing, and it's a very good data for the optimism how the United States avoid the recession in this year. The GDP the last quarter increasing more than 2%. For the United States, is a very big result out of the pandemic. And so this is inflation. Inflation, despite inflation, the have bad influence. Inflation, U.S. inflation suffered out of the oil prices. Oil prices increasing about more than 6 months in a row, and despite the oil price average in the United States, according to the economists, I must tell, the law of one price for largest economy of the world. This is very good data. At about 2.85 US dollars per gallon. And so the increasing oil prices had influence for the inflation. Despite this is data, the real income of the workers is very good. It's the data 1.7%. Certainly, this is year in year calculation. This is that is very interesting for the next economical calculation. And here the consumers expenditures of the household U.S. households will be very will be increased. So this is a result, and but we have it in in the media, the consists the trade balance was very interesting for me. China, United States trade balance, especially that is third quarter is the agricultural quarter. But totally the world economy very must be recovery, and mostly victory will be mostly result fruit of fruitful of it will benefit will be have United States and China. This is the biggest economy. This is this is the situation, not amazing, and at this situation, the increasing oil prices and the hydrocarbon very bad for the Chinese, also the United States and EU. And the last topic of today, Jesus, last topic of oh my God. It's very interesting, however, forget about and the Wagner Group have attempt to the involved into this group Belarusian soldiers. Belarusian soldiers. So this is maybe the maybe the interaction with the Belarusian army, but who will be leader of this structure? It's very interesting. Belarusian president right now is the president of the Union alias state, Russia and Belarus. But but all documents Belarusian president signed in Moscow and Kremlin. And in fact, Belarus president is ordinary governor of the Russian Federation. For example, as Gladkov in the Belgorodskaya Oblast and Alexander Beglov in the major of the St. Petersburg. So this is a situation how the Belarus will in real losses the sovereignty as a state. So thank you. Bye.